Gary Jacobs, 71 years old, and it's almost 6 years to the day when I made the most bonehead, stupid, amateur, rookie guitar mistake. It was August 21st, 2017. I was in Timothy Lake, Oregon, and it was exactly 10:15 a.m. And you know where this is going, right? You know what I did. Yup, I played a B flat major 7 chord at the exact moment of a total solar eclipse. Of course, I was immediately transported at light speed through a tiny opening in the space-time continuum. I found myself in the year 1905 in Bern, Switzerland, standing in a small office with my guitar still strapped around my neck. There was a man with funny hair standing at a blackboard doing these equations when I realized it was Albert Einstein, and he was working on his special theory of relativity. He turned around and saw me and said, "Who are you and what are you doing here?" And I told him how I had played a B flat major 7 chord at the exact moment of a total solar eclipse. And he went back to the board, did some quick equations and said, "Yeah, that would happen." I said, "How's the work going?" And he said, "Well, I'm a little stuck here on one of these equations. Something isn't quite right." And he pointed to the board and I saw written there, E equals MC plus $1.27. Well, now I found myself in one of those time travel ethical dilemmas. I knew it was E equals MC squared, but do I tell him? If I do, will that somehow screw up all of history? Or do I let him find it himself? But what if he doesn't? That'll also screw up history. So I found a middle ground. I wandered over to the window and casually said, "My, that's a lovely view you have of the town square." And Einstein, being Einstein, immediately picked up on it and said, "Of course, that's it. E equals MC squared. Thank you." And I felt kind of good about that. Then I said, "Mr. Einstein, I don't suppose you know some way I can get back to my own time, do you?" And he said, "Well, have you tried clicking your heels together 3 times and saying, 'There's no place like home'?" And I said, "No." And he said, "Just as well, you'd wind up in Kansas." Oof. But then he said, "Wait a minute. Did you say you played a B flat major 7 to get here?" And I said, "Yes, that's right." He said, "1 minute." And he goes to the board, starts doing some quick calculations, and then he says, "If at exactly 3:02 you face south-southeast and play the G sharp minor chord on that thing, it just might work." I said, "Mr. Einstein, I will be forever indebted to you. And you should know that in the future, your name will become synonymous with genius." And his eyes lit up and he said, "You mean people will say, 'That guy's real smart. He's a regular Albert'?" Well, obviously I made it back safely, but let my story serve as a cautionary tale, because next year on April 8th, there will be a total solar eclipse over the United States. Beware the B flat major 7 chord.